Wow, it is really great to see how Pat Tillman has inspired so many people, and also getting to see all the support that we have out here today. Taking a look at the finish line, we're getting even more people finishing, but looking around, it's a great scene out here, and it's not just for the runners today. There's actually going to be something going on for the kids. There's an interactive kids corner going on where kids can play in some interactive games, as well as members of the Arizona State football team will be there, and local mascots to hang out with them all day.
There's also all sorts of vendors out here, so it's a very, very family-friendly event that we have going on. We have more guests coming up here. We should talk to Ken Wisenhunt, head coach of the Arizona Cardinals, Eric Burns, former Arizona Diamondback, and a friend of Pat Tillman, grew up with him. And just a lot of people making their way through the finish line here out at Sun Devil Stadium. It is a beautiful day out here, by the way. It is pretty perfect.
It is, and this is really exciting for me, too. I've never been to Pat's run before, but my dad coached Pat at Arizona State when he was here from 1994 to 1997. So getting to be here again and show the support, knowing Pat as a little kid, he was always such a great person to come and talk to and really caring. So it's really good to get to see all this.
And you know that sign that we got a glimpse of at the end of that Tillman Legacy clip of what courage really looks like. And that courage really is personified today out here at this event. And a lot of courage to run in this event. 4.2 miles, no easy feat. Only 4 miles. You think of these marathons and these Ironmans, those are crazy. But 4.2-mile run is definitely difficult. And some of the people that are out here today running in this race, showing a lot of courage themselves, but also being very motivated in finishing the race. And some of these people look like they're just getting started. They look like they're just ready to get right back out there and run another 4.2 miles. I don't know if I could do that, but
I definitely could. We're seeing even more Arizona State football players that come out to show their support today. It feels like the whole community of Arizona is here today.
Absolutely, and like we've talked about, the whole community has kind of embraced this event. It's something they take a lot of pride in because it does get a lot of national recognition. And people come from all over the country. They come in waves, and 30,000 people coming out. I mean, almost you can't fit 30,000 people at a Suns game or an ASU basketball game. But we are now joined right now by the Arizona Cardinals head coach Ken Wisenhunt. Looks like you took a nice little run through the city of Tempe today.
Yeah, I did. I'd like to say I enjoyed it, but a little tougher than I remember.
Yeah.
And Ken, we were talking about honoring Pat Tillman, and do you use him as an example to your players?
No question. I think, in our business, there's a lot to be said about integrity, and that's what Pat stood for, what he still stands for. I think that at this time in our country, it's so important that we have men and women defending it overseas, and they don't get enough appreciation. And this is a small way of honoring that, and certainly honoring Pat and all that he's done. And so, we've got a big contingent from the Cardinals here today. I would like to say that we've had some players running, but I can't talk to them, so I can't comment on that.
You're too busy finishing ahead of them, right? They're too busy looking at your back the whole time. You don't have time to look behind you.
Well, I can tell you this. When we get back together, that's what I'm going to say.
Absolutely. So, we're being positive out here. There's lockout going on, but there's a lot of exciting things that are coming up here for the Arizona Cardinals with the draft coming up in a few weeks. Are you looking forward to all the excitement that's going to be coming up here?
Yeah, I do. In a lot of ways, I'm disappointed that we're picking 5 because I'm used to picking in the 20s or 31 or 32, after a playoff season. But since we are, I'm excited because there's a lot of good players in that range. So we're going to get a good impact player for us, and that's exciting. There's not as much variance like you have in the later part of the draft. You pretty much know it's going to be 3 or 4 guys, and so you get a chance to target in on those guys a little bit more and get a good feel for them. So from that component, the draft is great. Fans are excited about it. We get excited about it. And really, it's the only thing we got to look forward to right now, so that's a good thing.
Yeah.
And Ken, how have you, do you run in Pat's run every year?
I run in it every year but one. I had a conflict one year and couldn't run in it because we were doing some draft things, but every other year I've run in it. So it's brought me good luck, so that's a big part of it.
Is this the fastest time you've had?
I don't know. I guess we'll see when it's posted. I try not to look, but according to my iPod, because I set up the time, I got finished a little bit earlier, so that's good.
And do you have a personal story from Pat on how he has inspired you?
Well, I wasn't here when Pat was here, but I played against Pat. I remember many games when I was on the opposing team, watching him on tape, because I was an offensive coach and he was playing defensive special teams, and I was very impressed with how he honored the game, how he worked in the games, how he finished plays. You know, I think there's a lot to be said about NFL players that carry themselves the right way. You know, this business, I believe, is a lot about what today's run is, honor, integrity, and I think Pat embodied that.
So you can't just come out here and run 4.2 miles. Did you do any training to get out here and be ready for today?
Well, when you're a superior athlete like me,
Absolutely.
you can just show up. No, I've been training. I've been training the last couple of weeks just to make sure I could finish. That was what was the most important.
Absolutely.
But you know what? I'll say this. It does says walk on the shirt, so I figured I would be okay if I had to walk.
Even if you had to walk?
Yeah, but I didn't today, thank goodness.
Yeah, very good, very good.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
You know what? My pleasure. Thank you. And thank all the people for coming here today. It's really how it's grown the last 5 years has been incredible, and the number of people that have been here and support this, I think it's fantastic.
You know, it's a lot of seeing the support that you give personally. A lot of people really respect you and admire you out here in the community, and seeing your support out there running with everyone else. I know it means a lot to the people that are out there running.
Well, it speaks well for our city, you know, and I think that's important. Phoenix is a great town. They've been a great support for us, and it's evident they support Pat and this thing, so thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Coach. We really appreciate having you on this morning.
Thanks.
Well, let's take a look back at the finish line. A lot more people coming in waves.
We wanted to remind you that this is the just beginning of our Devil of the Day on FoxSportsArizona.com. Both Mark McCludum and Adam Archuleta will be right here at Sun Devil Stadium at 2:15 for the spring football scrimmage. And tonight you can also watch the ASU versus Washington State baseball game live at Packard Stadium at 6:30.
It is just an absolutely beautiful day out here in Tempe. Why we live in this beautiful state of Arizona, because it is March, and you could be out here in a shirt and shorts and be running around for 4.2 miles. I know that I strive to be able to do that. I don't know if I would be, because I'd probably be dead on the ground right now. Some of these people are really impressive, are really amazing, and I got a lot of respect for what's going on out here today. Not just the event, the people putting on the event, but the people participating in the event. It's really, there's the energy out here is really spectacular.
You know, and especially, too, we've been talking about how the event has been growing each year. It started in 2005, and they said that there were only 6,000 participants, but that was a large number considering it was the first event. And now today, for the 7th annual pass run, it's almost at 30,000 people.
30,000 people, and you know, if we have the map, to go back to the map, just to give you an idea of the route that all these people had, it took a little fun map that we have here. It goes all the way through the city of Tempe, and like we said, the new slogan for ASU is to fear the fork. I say you better follow the fork here today. You want to stay on track. It goes through Mill Avenue, it goes through the city of Tempe, it makes your way back to Sun Devil Stadium. And you know, we just had Coach Wisenhunt on, and he talks about a lot of the NFL coaches look at the 40-yard dash time. You get to do your own little 42-yard dash, your own little combine as the final stretch of the race is to the 42-yard line here at Sun Devil Stadium. And what a cool opportunity for Sun Devil fans and Cardinals fans getting to be on the field at a place where they have watched a lot of their favorite players like Pat Tillman participate at a very high level.
Exactly. We have even more runners coming in today.
We have a runner from Arizona City.
And we have some more guests that we're about ready to get on over here. Some more Cardinal representation. We have Big Red. We got Big Red over here. We got some of the Cardinals, the flag guys over here that just finished the race, made their way through the race. Guys, how was it out here today?
It was fantastic. Great race today. Probably the best out of the 7 years. It gets better each year. Today was a great day.
So you guys are out here every year. Introduce you guys. Who do we have over here?
We've got Brad and Dan Nelson, Mike Ariel, Leo Buffa, of course, Big Red. I'm Scott Gavin with the Cardinals. These are my flag guys. You see them on the field on game day. They do an awesome job. We're just here to show our support for Pat and the organization.
So, I mean, having to run with the flag on the field, that's no easy job at all. Does this run help prepare that and help prepare you guys for the season? We're in preseason right now.
Yeah, this is their off-season training. They're required to do this every year. Helps get us ready. This is obviously a lot longer than running the 100 yards on the field, but it gets them ready. These guys are in great shape. Look great today. It was a fun time for us.
Now, Big Red, you know, finished the race in your getup, in your full uniform right here. It's getting a little warmer outside. That's pretty impressive that you're able to get out there and run.
Tip-top shape.
He definitely looks like he is.
Probably one of the fittest athletes in the entire state.
I mean, he's got these big, broad shoulders and a very aerodynamic head. I know that has a lot to do with the time he had today.
Well, thank you very much for joining us. And
thanks for having us. We certainly appreciate it. You guys want to do Go Cardinals?
Go Cardinals! Well, like we said, a lot of representation out here from the Cardinals, from ASU, and from all over the community. Big Red right here showing his spirit, and he's been out there supporting everyone at the finish line as they are coming through in masses right now. Everyone's starting to get done as we are just about a little over 50 minutes through the race, and it's been great. It's a great day, a great spirit from everyone out here. And like I said, I can't get over this. People seem to look like they're ready to run more. It doesn't seem like the 4.2 miles was enough for them, which is crazy for me to think about.
I know, and what's crazy too is I really don't see a lot of people here sitting. I feel like everyone's getting ready to go. They're still standing up, walking around, socializing, talking to everyone, really enjoying themselves. And as we said before, there's a lot of families out here today, and so it's really cool to see the community getting involved, but bringing family out and enjoying this event.
Yeah, lots of family, friends, coworkers. We saw some of our coworkers making their way across the finish line today, and you know the cool thing out here is that a lot of people, they're finishing the race, but they're staying on the field. As we see a lady out here running with her child, running with the stroller. I'm sure that's not easy either. And but you know what? We have another clip from the Tillman Legacy that we had on Fox Sports Arizona earlier last week, and let's take another look at one.
Pat's ferocious nature on the field was beginning to gain national recognition, and at the end of the 2000 season, he had an opportunity to cash in, receiving a 5-year, $9 million offer from the St. Louis Rams.
Being the loyal person that he's always been, the way I saw it is the Cardinals gave him a chance. Gave him a chance that 31 other teams wouldn't give him. If I were to go to the Rams, they're already a great team. And I think being here, seeing this thing come to kind of fruition, whatever you want to call it, kind of the way it was at ASU, I'd really like to be a part of something like that. And the selfish deal, I like it here. This place treats me well.
There was a pilot who flew. There was another one. We just saw another one. We just saw another one apparently go. Another plane just flew into the second tower.
It's like anything. You kind of take it for granted, especially in the country we live in. We are such a free society, and we look at that flag, and I've always had a great deal of feeling for the flag, but even someone who considers themselves that way, you just don't think about it all the time. You don't realize what it gives. You don't realize how great a life we have over here.
I could see it eating him up inside. I mean, like I said, you could tell a lot about his facial expressions and how he carries himself. There was no faking it with Pat. I mean, you could see that he was pissed off.
Even as athletes, we bitch and moan every now and again about this or that. And if we ever just, times like this, you stop and think about it, just how, not only how good we have it, but what kind of a system we live under, what freedoms were allowed. And that wasn't built overnight, and it's kind of, the flag is a symbol of all that, a symbol of, my great-grandfather was at Pearl Harbor, and a lot of my family has given up, has gone and fought in wars, and I really haven't done a damn thing as far as laying myself on the line like that, and so I have a great deal of respect for those that have, and what the flag stands for.
Just some outstanding stuff right there, and the man that put so much heart and soul into a piece like that, and to the entire piece, which will be airing again tonight in the Tillman Legacy. Al Porteous is sitting with us, produced, created, got to sit down and got to experience everything and really put his thoughts towards a beautiful piece that runs about a half hour. Al, how was that experience for you, being able to put together a show like that?
Well, first of all, I don't know how you dragged me into coming out here. I just finished the run, but it was amazing. Actually, it was quite the experience. We spent about a year working on it. Got a lot of interviews. It was really cool. We spent some time out in Washington, D.C. interviewing some of the Tillman Military Scholars. So it's kind of cool because not in a lot of organizations, that you participate in runs or that you help out with, you don't always know where the money goes. And so getting to see this is quite the experience. And interviewing some of the roommates, some of Pat's former roommates and teammates was always fun. And getting to interview Marie was quite a pleasure. Marie is a great woman, and it was kind of interesting hearing from somebody who's really close to Pat.
Exactly. I've heard nothing but great compliments to that, the Pat Tillman legacy, and that was premiered the viewing party with the Uncle Bear's Grill and Bar. There were tons of people out there, former teammates, friends, and fans. But getting to produce that and then being out here today, how special is that for you?
It's always fun. I really enjoy getting to run with everybody. I mean, seeing how many people come out to this, it's really nice just to see how many people just like to keep his name out there and keep his name alive. And not only just like, it's not just a name. Like you're running for, you feel like you're actually running for something important, somebody who pushed themselves through everything they always did. And I think it's a true testament to the man he was, just seeing the amount of people that come out. I think, doing the show and getting to come out and do the run and be with all the people, hopefully that watch the show is quite an experience too.
So how did you do? I'm sure you trained a little bit. 4.2 miles isn't something you can just wake up and do. So did you train at all?
Here and there. I was working on that show quite a bit the past few weeks. I didn't get a chance to go run, but it was quite the experience with training. But I didn't really get myself up for 4 miles. But when you're getting to run with everybody here, it's pretty sweet because you get pushed everywhere you go. People cheering along the way. People motivating you as you go. It's nice.
Thanks very much, Al. Well, let's get back to the finish line. People making their way through in waves, and just a little bit under an hour now since the start of the race, and people are finishing up, getting done in their black Pat Tillman, Pat's Run shirts.
We are seeing a lot of those shirts out here today, and as we're seeing, not very many people are sitting. Everyone's standing up and still talking and socializing, and not a lot of people are leaving the field either, which is very cool to see all the support out here.
And very smart. A lot of these people finishing, and they have fruit in their hands. I know Al had a banana in his hand.
He took that away for the interview, though. I was going to ask him about that if he kept it in his hand.
Yeah, gotta get those vitamins. Gotta get those vitamins pumping back through the body. And like a lot of great ASU football representation out here in their uniforms, cheering on people as they make their way through the finish line. Great positive energy out here at Pat's Run today. It's very inspiring.
That's right, Robert. Good job. Reminder again, we have water at the south end.
And Jared, too, I was going to tell you something that's also really interesting about this event is it's not just people in the state of Arizona that come to run here. People actually from out of state participate in this event as well, which I think is really cool. We have a personal relationship. One of Pat's former coaches, John Pettis, actually comes down from Seattle every year to run it.
And you hear a lot of stories like that. What Pat Tillman represents and his legacy that we've talked about a lot this morning. It didn't just impact the people that were ASU fans or Cardinals fans or just people that are from the Valley. It impacts everyone all around the country. Just what he stood for and such a sacrifice that he made to represent his country. And when people hear all around the nation that they can get involved and they can give back to his name and to the foundation that he represents, people will go out of their way to do so, and I really admire that. It's not something that just this community has rallied behind, but really the nation has. And hearing stories like that of people coming from Seattle and I'm sure California and then the East Coast. I mean, why not come to the beautiful Valley of the Sun this time of year and while you're at it, represent a great event like the Pat's Run?
Exactly. We have even more runners finishing right now.
They don't seal the cracks their invincible armor may have had.
This event just started about an hour ago. They started running at about 7 a.m. And people are making their way through, very spirited, clapping their way through the finish line. And a lot of the people that have finished here already are continuing to stick around the finish line to greet their fellow runners and to greet their fellow competitors, if you will.
And joining us today here we have Amanda Pettis. Amanda, you just finished. How was the event today?
It was good. It was a lot tougher than I expected. Coming across Curry and that second bridge was brutal.